Hey, we're back again, and we're doing some more request videos here. And as you may have noticed, been taking a little bit of a difference in pathway and the platform I've been using in the past. I have a request here. Somebody wants me to do a video on dealing with depression. Okay, now first of all, here I got to kind of clear the air here, and that I'm not an expert on this, and I'm not a trained professional in this matter. All I can give you is what's my own personal experience and experiences that I have been given from other people who have gone through states of depression for short periods, lengthy periods, and in some cases long-term and what some people call chronic depression. And I've come up with some conclusions that may be a little different. And I'm going to also offer a meditation that may be helpful in clearing the way. First thing that I wanted to say is this. I don't recall anyone ever being born depressed. And I don't usually see a lot of this in children unless there's some kind of a traumatic incident in their life. So therefore, having said that, what we need to do is, first of all, when you're dealing with a state of depression, you have to look for the point of origin. It has to have started somewhere. Where did it start? This is the first question that I would ask anybody who's, watching this video and they are or have experienced depression is, what's the point of origin? What caused the initial state of depression? It doesn't just happen out of the blue. In every situation where I've been dealing with people, I've always found with a little bit of prodding, a little bit of information sinking, there's always some kind of a precursor experience that has happened that has been the trigger that sets off the depression. So we need to become somewhat self-aware, if we can put it that way. The other thing here that's very important to remember is depression is a state of mind, okay, being the mental body. And the mental body has to set it up by repetition. That's how it happens. There has to be something that gets as a repetitious state of mind that continues over an extended period of time, which ultimately begins to affect the glands and ducts of the body called the endocrine system, and the actual physical well-being of the person, digestive, assimilation, everything is affected by it, and it becomes habitual. People like to call it chronic, but habitual is a better word. It's like being a smoker. You have a certain mental state. You have a certain belief system that also goes along with it. So in the state of someone who has been, chronic depression over an extended period of time, all of these factors have to be considered and given thought to. On the other hand, when you look at the medical profession, one of the standard procedures they have for treating depression is medicating the person. All right. Hey, everyone has to make their own personal choices as to what they do, and hey, that's entirely up to you. But what I'm saying here is I'm going to offer some kind of an alternative here that can be done, and I'm also going to do a meditation that can be done by people, and this may be helpful to them. So what I'm going to kind of do here is I'm going to ask people here just to kind of become self-aware, first of all. Self-awareness is a very important part of recovering from depression. I went through a state of depression when my kundalini energy activated. Now, I'm not suggesting that everyone's in the same boat. I'm just giving you an example. And my kundalini energy activated, and I went through that period, which is called the dark night of the soul, which, for lack of a better word, is simply a state of depression for, a period of time, extended period of time, or a lengthy period of time. And it's kind of a clearing, letting go of a lot of stuff that's no longer required in the body. Other people have had depression because of an incident, something that happened, a trauma, a loss of a loved one, could be anything. And you need to be aware of that because that's what started it. No one has a state of depression that just came out of the blue. There always is, if you look at it, some sort of trigger that initiated it in the first place, and then it's just a cataclysmic effect that floats all the way through all the areas of the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer a simple little meditation to do, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of, again, as is my practice with others that I've done, walk you through it verbally first, and then I'm going to lead you into it as a meditation, which you can do. Now, I recommend for people who are going through a state of depression, you're probably not a meditator, all right? So it's best if you only do this exercise for about 5 minutes at a time. If you do it, and you can do it either laying down or sitting down, whatever you want. And I recommend, if possible, that you do it 5 or 6 times a day, if you can, if possible. If not, 2 or 3 times will do. As long as you do it more than once a day, 2 or 3 times a day if possible. More is better because it's repetition. You're creating a new habit. You're creating a new form of an idea or thought pattern within your body, physical, especially your mental body. Your mental body is the builder. It goes by repetition. So we're trying to create a habit of you coming out of the depression and living in a different state of mind. So it works that way. So I'm going to ask you to do it as many times as you can during the day, but 2 or 3 is better if you can do that. All right. So what I'm going to do now while I'm talking to you is say to you, oh, I would like you to go into your memory and I'd like you to pick out a time somewhere in your life where you were happy. You felt whole. You had a happy experience, something. It could have been, anywhere or anything that you were feeling a state of happiness and being that you really felt good about being alive, about being who you are. It was just a very exciting time. You can go back to when you were a kid, would probably be a good time, and something happened. And everybody has somewhere in their life where they had a joyful, pleasant, exciting, stimulating experience. Everyone. There's just nobody that doesn't. All right. If they are, it's extremely rare, and I've never heard of it. So pick out a particular incident. All right. Okay. Now hold that thought and get yourself in a comfortable position and just sit back and relax, close your eyes, and I just want you to follow my instructions as I'm going to give them to you verbally first, and I'm going to lead you into it. Sit back, relax. You're going to do a 3-breath breathing exercise. In through the nose, out through the mouth, like you're blowing out a candle. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask you to do this up here in your head, to visualize it in your head. Some people may have thought I was going to ask them to go into the heart center chakra. No, I'm not going to do that. Not time for that yet. I want you to visualize it as you normally would in your head, and I want you to relive the experience where you felt excited, you were enthusiastic, it was a very happy moment in your life, whatever it may have been. And I'm going to ask you to simply visualize it and repeat it and repeat it and play it over and over again in your head at least a half a dozen times or more, at least that many times. Then after doing that, I'm going to bring you back out and I'm going to give you a couple of more instructions that you can do afterwards, all right? The idea here is what we want to do is we want to change the emotional expression in your body, but we also want to change the chemical reaction in your body from the thinking process. In order for a person to be depressed, you have to be secreting hormones into the body at a certain way, and we want to change that to an influence of more positive input. And we're going to use a happy place that you were experienced in the past to do that. So we'll do it in the head first, and then in the second part that I may do later on down the road in another video, we'll do the second part of it here to work on the depression. Okay, shall we give that a try? What do you got to use? What do you got to lose? It may work, it may not, but I got a funny feeling it will work for some people. Why do I say that? Because it actually worked for me long time ago. Since then. Okay, sit back, relax, close your eyes, and we're going to start off with a nice relaxed breathing exercise, inhaling in through the nostril, exhaling gently through the mouth like you're blowing out a candle, and do that 3 times. 1 for body, 1 for mind, and 1 for spirit. Now, all I want you to do at this point is, using your imagination, I would like you to go back in your memory. It could be somewhere in your adult age. It could be in your teenage years. It can even be when you were much younger. You can pick out a happy experience that you've had. And all I want you to do is I want you to relive that experience. Remember it. Remember the experience. Relive it. See it in your mind's eye. Relive it. And most importantly, I want you to feel the excitement, the joy, the happiness, the giddiness that you were feeling at that time. Relive all of the excitement up here in your mind's eye. Feel the emotion of it, the happiness. How did that work? Not too good? All right, let's continue on. Go into your memory again and see if you can find another happy spot somewhere along the line where something happened to you that was exciting, stimulating, made you feel joyful and blissful. Everybody has something somewhere in their life. Look in your pile of memory. Once you find the memory again, see it in your mind's eye as a picture, a visualization, a movie, and feel the experience, feel the emotion of the experience, feel the excitement of the experience, feel the joy and the happiness of the experience. You could have got a new bike, you could have went to a ball game, who knows? Everyone has something that got them excited. I can recall when I was a kid having my first hot dog. I was excited for 2 days because I knew I was going to get a hot dog. I'd never had one. And I remember it very well. Something like that made you feel excitement and joy and relive the experience. Now, if you can find 3 or 4 of these experiences in your memory, file them away so that you can use them again. Because the important thing here is this: with each of those memories that you relive in your mind's eye, you will evoke in the mental body, the emotional body, a different feeling of joy, of happiness, of bliss, contentment, and sheer pleasure. And it will evoke, a different feeling in the mental body and the emotional body. Now, the first time that you do this may be a bit tricky. The key to remember is focus on the feeling, the emotion, the feeling, the joy, the pleasure. Remember it, relive it, experience it, pour yourself into it like your life depends upon it. Relive the experience. Feel the emotion, the feeling of the joy, radiating, permeating, flowing everywhere through your body. Let yourself get excited. Now, letting go of all of this, I want you now to refocus your attention back to the present moment that you are. But I want you to bring the feeling that you have evoked with you. Bring the feeling by remembering the bliss, the joy, the excitement, the happiness that you've just rekindled within yourself with you. Bring it back with you. And then by taking your focus and attention and just leaving it completely in your mind's eye, take a deep breath, inhale in through the nostrils, exhale gently through the mouth, and return to full waking consciousness. All right. Now, the idea here is this. Depression is a state of mind that becomes habitual, which dictates the condition of the body. So therefore, in this meditation, what we're attempting to do is to reactivate the mental body to joy, happiness, bliss, excitement by remembering. And by remembering, we create a new state of mind, a new state of being in the physical body. However, this will not happen overnight. There is no magic pill or no magic formula or no magic bullet. You need to do this repetitiously 2 or 3 times or more during the day. And for someone who is in a state of depression, I recommend you do this exercise for at least a month before you can logically expect any kind of results. The results will come. Repetition is the key. You have to reawaken a part of yourself that went to sleep, in all probability, through no fault of your own. And we need to rekindle that part of yourself. Does this make sense to you? I think it does. It works. I know it does, because I've done it before. I'd like to hear your comments on the video. I'd like to hear your comments in a month from now, when you've tried it, and see how it works. And I wish you every success, because I can assure you, I know how you feel when you go and you are experiencing a depressed state of mind. But it can be changed, it can be corrected, and you can live a full and balanced life. The best of the day to you. Try the exercise. It'll work. Have a great day. Take care, everyone.